All right, we good. All right, cool. Hey, welcome to the Psy Tai podcast. I was saying it's been a good while. A lot of art has been produced. Hopefully, y'all can jump in. We got on microdose right now. Mushrooms, talk about psychedelics, mindfulness, virtual reality. Got a lot of topics to pull up. A lot of topics, and I actually have some videos. Instead of keeping it in the meme show, I'm gonna pull the meme show as part of the live show. So at a segment, probably in the beginning or somewhere in between, something like that, got some videos to bring up, and then we can use those as topic points to go off of and just tie down where we combine our mind with our heart, see what our gut mind is saying, connect all those three circles, and let whatever come out, come on out. Yes, thank you guys for coming on through. Let me pop out the chat. Make sure y'all check out the Just Tie Now store. Come and explore. It's on the Just Tie Now, justtinow.com. Let me get this chat up now. All right, something went wrong. Hold on, let me do that one more time. Yeah, but it's been cool. It's cool. It's been actually raining out here in Chico for a while. It hasn't rained all summer. It's like really a rainy season and stuff in this part of the town, in this part of the country, as opposed to being in Philly where it's always raining and stuff like that. There we go. Here we go. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna do some mushroom hunting just to film and see what mushrooms out in the forest. Probably go up to Cohasset. I've been in Bidwell Park a couple times searching for mushrooms just to see what's out there, see the species, edible, non-edible, and just see how the forest and how life is sustaining itself. You know, 90% of the mycelium and 90% of the soil, like way up there, and a high percentage is mycelium, which is the base of the fruit body mushroom, which is what animals and what we produce. But we as humans eat as well. So it's a lot of interesting interaction. Shouts to that movie Fungi that took like 5 years to make so they could find all these mushrooms and do the time lapses and all those cool things. And I got a couple videos up too. They took down my last video going out, just seeing what mushrooms popped up. It's a curiosity that kind of sparks up once you see what a certain kind of mushroom that had the psilocybin in it can do to you. It gets really like a lot. I see a lot of people spark up their imagination and curiosity and different kind of like I was about to say about and well, let me post this. And outdoor activities, seeing what nature is about and the interactions. Because once you start seeing how things is interacting with your mind and how everything is like all working together, even though sometimes it don't seem like it's working together, how thoughts are connected, how worlds are connected, that translates to how and we say, oh, this is just how it is. This is just how my mind is. It's just producing, has all these interactions going on. Looking out back at the forest is is magnificent to be able to see like, hey, this is what's going on. And the same thing with the city, the underground, everything, but just tying on nature and just going out there and seeing the different plants and the trees and being out here in Northern California. It really warped my experiences and being able to see how many different trees are actually in a forest or how many different trees could actually be on one block. I was looking observing that this morning. I was like, wow, I can drive down the street and see 5 different types of trees on the same row, and they're all like mega skyscrapers. No, it's pretty cool. All right, I got some away from the trees for a moment. I had a prompt where I put it in the Discord, and but I'm getting into the 3D art, and I was put a prompt out saying, what should I create to like make in 3D so we can all experience it. Eventually, I'm gonna get it so it can be in the VR and everything. Then be able to walk. I'll send the app out to certain people and be able to walk around in it with your headset and everything on. Like we can just strap on and be like, yo. But Master Chief, y'all probably know him on YouTube when he come on here as King. he had prompted that to make a Hindu temple mixed with an Aztec temple mixed with an Egyptian temple, and then Exile 13 threw in the Buddhist temple, that the 2D, and then when they visualize it, it's in 3D, and they create it in the sand, and they take all their time. The mandalas look like sometimes, but it's a temple. Then they erase it in the end. So I was using those as blueprints to construct this, as well as my own experiences. So I created an animation that's going to be in a different video, but I have I'll show like two pictures. I'll show like two pictures that like show what was going on with it. I had a fun time making it. I was going to do it live, but I wanted to actually relax, not to have too many other thoughts going on, but about its construction, but as much as I can, I still at the house going on, but just like relaxing and let it breathe and come to life on its own, as if I'm visiting it and I'm recreating it as it exists, but in Blender. Now, let me get it up right now. Let me choose one. Let me choose a random one. I think 122 would do some justice. Yeah, that's a nice one. Whoa, why did that just come up like that? No, I don't want that to happen. I want it to go like this. There we go. Then we able to see it. There we go. It's a temple. I'm gonna put all the description in the next video, but it's the temple of Tai, life and re-death. I said life and re-death. Yeah, that's what it is. Life, the temple of Tai, life and re-death. Got Isis, got Shiva. Once you see the animation and zoom in, you can see the certain poses and the objects. There's a bunch of cool Easter eggs and symbolism in here. Osiris in the beginning. Let me share another picture at the mushroom field. I think this one. Yeah, this one right here. I'm really proud of it. And when I was making it, I was just cheesing, just like you see me now. I was like, I can't wait to go there. I can't wait to visit. in another aspect. Let me show y'all this. There we go. Just showing y'all little previews. Let me share this. Let me share the live and one more on True Life Stories Discord. Shout outs to True Life Stories. The awesome conversations they have, the awesome team we've been building over the past few years. Has been worthwhile. Bang bang, there we go. So y'all, yeah, join the Discord too. It's a lot that y'all missing out on. As well as check out the Just Tainow website. Join the groups. I like to share renders and everything in there so that people can actually like see things as go along, because these projects take a long time. So we're just keeping people updated. And check out the Just Tainow render group. And here goes some other animations I was working on. Yeah, it came out perfect. If you check out the Instagram, Just Tainow. I call this one As Above, So Within. Can this get a little bigger? See if we can do that. Here we go. As Above, So Within. Created that in Blender. It was pretty fun making this. I like the reflections, how you see the reflections, the sky reflected inside of the ball. So it's like a really as above, so within. As we think of things outside of ourselves as things that's actually within ourselves. Everything that we think is separate from ourselves, we're actually connected to, and it's a part of us, and it's all like a simulation, a world inside of a world inside of a world. And the mushroom being that intermediary connecting device, connecting tool that introduces different species such as human beings to themselves, to what's inside themselves. That's what that means. So check it out. Check it out. It's on the Instagram. And this was another character I was creating, the Taka beta version. Building up the character list. And if y'all ain't check it out, that last one I was working on. The last one I was working on with whoa. Let me put this so it's going through the headphones. Alright, I don't want to get copyrighted. But y'all see, I was dancing with the with my own creations. With my own creation, just like I do in other realities where they exist. But yeah, he stole the stage. He stole the stage. This is the start as technology, because people, we've been tripping as humans for a long time. Like, it's not just us that's tripping, but it's been humans. We've been tripping as a long time, taking substances. So this is like a dream come true. I see for our species to be able to create things from our imagination. That's why movies are always so interesting. Marvel movies, always just any movie that had like a special effects added to it. It started a whole new trend, a whole new lifestyle, a whole new different type of experiences, or even giving people the experience that don't think that that don't readily experience this in their everyday life. It was an interesting conversation with Lex Fredman, and he was interviewing a computer scientist, a computer programmer. Has been computer programmer, musician, and a philosopher for like the past 30 years. And he was talking about reality and asking about virtual reality and everything. And I found it interesting how Lex was saying, do you think that people would choose, because he ain't straight out keep saying he's in a simulation, but he was saying, do you think people would choose to live in the simulation as opposed to the real reality? Now, the feelings behind that is what we experience in psychedelics, but the question as is proposed, we see every day. We see every day, every time we thinking a thought, we thinking about reality. Like we attaching it to this reality and creating it and say, oh wow, this is something fascinating, or oh wow, this is something crazy. But we still in it. We still be taking a part of it. Sorry with that. But we still exist and we still take part of it. Ooh. Hold on 1 second. Like, oh, tight right here. But he was talking about reality and what people choose to live in the reality instead of the real reality, whatever is considered the real. And the computer scientist guy was talking about saying, what difference would it make? He brought up an interesting point on what difference would it make with knowing if you're in a simulation or not, because you're like translating your reality only through only through the lens of the culture that you exist in the moment. So now we're talking about simulations and computers and stuff like that, and saying, oh, that's what's building reality because that's what our culture is making right now, when it can be something totally different. And that's what I experienced and a lot of people experienced on psychedelics, is this twisting of being outside of reality. And what does that mean to be outside of a reality? Like, what's generating this reality? Where does this other reality exist? Like, what does that mean to exist? What does it mean to be real? What does it mean to be not real? And then I start going into like, it's about the experience. It's about doing whatever you're doing is the real thing. It's what's happening. Like somebody slap you in your face, you're not going to think to yourself for 1 second that, oh, that didn't just happen. Like somebody didn't just slap me in my face. You try to convince yourself, but that's what's actually happening. That's what's real. The slap in the face. or the hug, the unexpected hug. Like, whoa, is this happening? Where did this come from? It's all real. It's all real. But I found that interesting, the correlation, because Lex didn't want to be too intrusive, because I know he had psychedelic experiences, but he likes to talk to people in a scientific way and not allow people to feel judged or be like, oh, you're just wrong and stuff like that, which is how I like to talk and Ty as well. That's why I enjoy his podcast from time to time. I didn't finish it though. I went to sleep. But I like seeing the levels of views of reality and how a simulation would be viewed. Does it matter? What how could it matter? Is it real? Like what are these words that we're actually tying on? What are these ideas that we're trying to tie together? And that's why I like conversations, because no one person has the answer as a human being. What we can do is tie things together, and that means creating stories as we go along with the action. Just tie now, it stands for just think about it. But when you put it together as tie is an action. It's a state of being. It's different state of beings too. Oh, that's why you got the just tie. You got just tie. You got tie like you just being, just tie, connecting whatever circles you're aware of. It can be even more than three circles. All right, just hit my head on that. But I titled this mindfulness because I was watching. We always talking about mindfulness, what just tie is, like I said, like I was tying into what I was saying before about knowing what's going on. But I like when people that it was to go into, it was a Joe Rogan podcast, and it was a scientist on there who worked with the government. She get grants and work with the troops and armies and like the militaries, the ground people, and help them with different techniques on how to cultivate mindfulness. And she was talking about in her academic profession, she's a neuroscientist. That's what made it so special. She's a neuroscientist. She studies the brain. She's like real deep into it. So she was saying how in her academic field, yogic practices were like not to be talked about, and say, hey, this is what I'm doing to get my mind straight and stuff like that. Yet it was still used in the studies when trying to get participants to focus on a certain thing, or get them to use their focus in a certain way by giving them certain games and tactics to try to solve. So that was the only way it was like put into there, and people was considered a genius or and stuff for coming up with the certain practices that, and then actually getting a base study off of it that can be peer reviewed by people from different parts of the world. But just talking about what you doing and saying, oh, this is what I do to study my mind, that was considered woo woo. Like, oh, that's what they do. That's spiritual stuff. That keep your spiritual stuff outside the camp. Outside the camp. But now as time has passed, it's becoming more readily accepted because people are seeing the actual results, and people are being brave enough to talk about it. They still flunked out in a lot of ways, but still, to each his own, to each his own. So she was talking about the study she was doing after picking up a random book, and then being introduced to a mindfulness tactic, and then she was talking about different ways of soldiers, like say you had them study on a task and they have to remember certain numbers and stuff like that. And she brought up this thing called meta attention, and how I talk about how it's attention that's on your scratch disk. Like say you got a computer and it's a part of your memory in the RAM that helps the computer operate and calculate operations at, like, depending on how much RAM you got, really fast, but you have this cache memory that's only for temporary times, like short term. We say short term memory, and like stuff that's just in the moment, and it's not like it's not, yeah, it's just in the moment. It's just in the moment. Like trying to, when somebody tells you their name and then like, oh, I forgot your name. Like, you don't, especially if it's a classroom full of people and then you don't know their name because it was just in your cache memory for the moment. just to get to the next moment, to the next moment, to the next moment. But still, but with mindfulness practice, it was ways to recognize what's going on in those moments. And that's what psychedelics introduced me to as well with these mindfulness practices, is being able to see what's going on in those individual moments that's usually after that moment in the cache memory will be just wiped away so that I can perform the next operation. Get what I'm saying? So like the psychedelics gave me an upgrade of memory cache, so that I can process more thoughts. And they was going into people that have who they say term have ADD and ADHD and stuff like that. You know, we talked on that before. You turn that around to just attention dialed into higher dimensions. We can put it like that. Attention's dialed into higher dimensions. And Joe Rogan was saying, as opposed to, and I say it's as opposed to getting the medication, just go into actually teaching kids how to think. And I talk about my kid all the time. Shout outs to Isla. We talk kids and mindfulness practices passed on based off of our experiences now that we have these psychedelic experiences tying on Just Tainow channel, these mindful situations where we're seeing what's our cache memory is actually doing in those moments, and actually log it into the hard drive, or log it into our quantum hard drive so that it can actually be recalled and not just wiped away real fast. Even though nothing is really ever wiped away, that's the magical thing about the psychedelics and about our bodies and how our computer system works, is that we can tap into, just like it just, and this is real life too. It's not even just our bodies. If you was to smash your computer or think you deleted something from your computer, you can send it to a professional. To like me, I had to do this one time when I worked at West Philadelphia High School. A teacher wiped our hard drive by accident, and she really needed something that was on there. So I had to pay for this program and do all this computer stuff in order to recover her hard drive. When to the average consumer, the average user, it would seem as though all was lost. All the data, all that memory, all that hard work was lost. But with a little simple code action and workaround, it was able to recover what was just thought to just be lost. Or, like I say, the psychedelics can recover what we once thought was just in our cache memory and passed on to the next moment. That's where traumas and stuff come up from. Like it seemed like, oh, it's just gone. We're just working on what's in our cache memory. It's just we're just in the moment, but then it's still there. It still exists in some background reality that's still intertwined in like the never-ending story. But what's going on? It's intertwined with what's going on in the actual moment, and that's what they was talking about. People with ADD, ADHD. That she was talking about as a scientist, neuroscientist, seeing that the actual focus that I was just say we or people would say have is able to pay attention to what's going on in the cache memory, is as she say the meta attention, seeing what how you're actually feeling in that moment, the background process instead of just moving fast. Like in the moment, how does my breathing feel to me? Not trying to catch up with my breathing, but how is it how does it feel as it's expanding my lungs, and then having thoughts and ideas about that, being mindful about the act, like being ultra mindful about about what's going on actually around our environment, my environment. And most people are, I would say, is like desensitized to that, is the or working in other gears, working in another gear where that meta attention is not so much of a focus. Case in point, where the doctor on the Joe Rogan podcast was talking about the soldiers and how once they started doing the mindfulness practices, um, she was saying how a lot of people actually didn't want to do it. They said, I don't have that much time to devote to, and she had a $2 million study going on. They didn't even want the money or anything like this. I don't have that much time to devote to just sitting with just my thoughts and practicing these things, this 8 week, 16 week program. So she lowered it to 4 weeks and people started going in. It was like things like walking outside and just feeling the air against your face, while feeling the grass in your on your feet. And you know, with psychedelic experiences, this is what it's all about, because the mind thoughts that's usually going on can be just wiped away. Now it's all about your mindfulness practices that we can go into if y'all want to, about achieving that, because you can be take a psychedelic and still have all the mind thoughts going on that cause chaos and destruction in yourself and stuff like that. Or and it's a way you can work past it where you're just walking outside and feeling the breeze on your face, and the reality that that actually is creating in your mind. It's not just, oh, you're just looking at the tree, you're looking at the tree, and it's a whole world that's you're now exposed to, that you're now exposed to. So in the case in point of the soldiers, they were saying how eventually after a couple practices, the soldiers that wasn't doing the mindfulness practices was seeing the ones that was doing the mindfulness practices, and they were saying, wow, I actually want to do this, because the ones that did it are actually able to sleep through the night, like after going through like shock, bomb shock or something like that, shell shock, where they like seeing guns and stuff blowing up, so they have trouble sleeping, PTSD. But the mindfulness practice that she was performing on them, and I'm having them perform, they were actually able to now sleep through the night as opposed to the other soldiers and stuff like that. And it was cool because she was, as a neuroscientist, she was talking about ways of keeping this practice up throughout the daily day. Because she said, yeah, through these practices you can lose it and stuff. If it's and but every moment of your life you can't just say, all right, I practice mindfulness, but it should be a way where it can just kick into gear. And I think that comes with experience. That's now blending the spiritual, what we call spiritual practices, stuff that seems like it's just in the mind, like it don't matter, but it's what matters. I mean, it matters, and it's what's always been going on. That's what I say. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Just time. Just time. Just time. Just think about it. Just think about it. But it's been the experience, the journey. It's an awesome time because it comes with just doing and putting things together. Coming off as this, coming off as that, coming off as knowing what you're doing, coming off as you don't know what the hell you're doing. Or what in the heaven you doing. That's how I look at it. I know what in the heaven I'm doing. Or I don't know what in the heaven I'm doing, but I know it's still good. In the experience of mindfulness, you start coming up with different practices. Because along the way, you do start practicing what other people do and start saying, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm practice this yoga. I'm going to practice this Muslim, practice Christianity. I'm going to practice this New Age. I'm going to practice this um, whatever it is, psychedelic. Psychedelic practices. That mindfulness factor is a big thing. The big thing because people feel like they losing their mind. Like, oh, I can't think. I don't know what I'm thinking. I can't think. While they're thinking about what they can't think, I'll be like, that's what you're thinking. You're thinking right now. This is what you're thinking. That you can't think right now in this moment. And it's a way of detachment. It's a way of detachment of seeing what's going on without having your story, without your interpretation of the story, but just this is what happened. And a lot of us, after a psychedelic experience, say this like, it is what it is. Because you see, the roller coaster during the psychedelic Somnum Porta, the dream portal experience, that is a roller coaster. It's bringing you here, it's going there, and there's a huge sense of control, but it's a meta control. It's a tile control, something that's real in the background. It's working with senses that most humans are not, like we say here, is not always using. Like we have literal examples in the military with people that they consider have ADD and people that consider don't have ADD or have their life under control and grounded in reality and certain factors and stuff. But reality, how can you be grounded in reality if it's constantly changing? Reality is constantly changing. How can you be grounded? So I think we as humans are continuously adapting as we create the reality. All of us all together, the trees, everything. everything. We all cheering each other along. Sometimes we ain't cheering. We like, oh man, why that had to happen? Why you had to step on me? And for other times we in pure acceptance of it. That's that meta thinking. It can be like, say you happy to get stoned, as saying, oh, I'm getting stoned right now. It's like, yeah, you are getting stoned. How do you feel about getting stoned right now? And it can go different ways, and different paths of experiences will reveal the choice that you made. Choice that you made. And some say, oh, stone me for what I said. I don't mind. I don't mind. Death is not real. Other people, oh, death is, dang, death, I'm not dying. You can't take me out. Like, fuck this. This ain't happening right now. And this is the flows, the ebbs and flows that I see I myself go through. And I say me and we, because when I come in here, like it's been a cool journey. I tie on myself. I tie on myself. But it's just sometimes the correlation ties into what other people are going through or what they gotta say and stuff like that. And it makes everything even more wonderful and wonderful and magnificent. Make sure I check out the Just Tainow website. www.justtimedown.com. Where soon is going to be come up together with some mindfulness tips and programs and stuff like that. Feels good to breathe. When you feel the deep breath, take it. When you feel the deep breath, take it. Oh, it's this show. It's this show called Inside Job on Netflix that I was watching. I finished the whole season. Inside Job. Let me see if I can pull up a picture real quick. But it's about, it kind of have every conspiracy thrown into one. Thrown into one. What they call conspiracy. There it goes. Let me type in Netflix cartoon. There it is. They got the Illuminati. They got Hollow Earth. And this guy, it's really intricate because his daughter's really smart, and he's like been into everything so much that he's tricking them, putting them on journeys, and they trying to be against the Illuminati, but they friends with the Illuminati, and they be showing how they control people's minds with certain programs and social programs and stuff, like in social programs and everything, governments. And they go deep. The main person is the reason I brought it up too. They got a mushroom in here. Here it is, right? Oh, this is the guy that talks for him, Brett Gelman. They bring up Joe Rogan. He say, yeah, Joe Rogan was eating me one time, and he just was telling all these stories. He wouldn't shut up. Like it's a real sarcastic mushroom. Because the mushroom does bring up sarcasm. It's everything. I get that a lot. The sarcasm of the universe, the joke, the cosmic giggle, as Terrence McKenna would propose to people. Hearing it, but even like it don't matter how serious something is. Oh, this is just the whole interview. No matter how serious something is, it's like always this underlining layer of, oh, it could actually be like this as well. Like you took that as life, but it whoop, flipped it up real quick. And that's the vibe that the mushroom had in Inside Job. He was just flipping everybody vibe around real quick while still be a part of the team. No, they call him Mike. That's the mushroom job name, Mike. And it sounds like it's short for mycelium. I'm trying to see if it's something cool. He said, yeah, they told me I was going to be playing a giant mushroom. I mean, how can I say no? How can I say no to that? Yeah, a lot of real jerky behavior. I mean, like really horrible rudeness. Just really rude. I'm telling it like it. Yeah, and telling it like it is, telling everybody what the deal is, speaking the truth. He's the truth sayer, but sometimes the truth is hard to swallow, and sometimes he's just an asshole who laughs. I just said that. I just summed that up, Brett. Trying to see what else they got. No stranger to voiceover work. Seeing what they wrote about the mushroom. Yeah, they just talking overall about the show. Cool, cool, cool. Just some nerd stuff, some nerd jogging. Cause all these are realities. I brought that up before. Like, why they always put the term nerds and they always dealt with different dimensions. Even when you like see it in movies and stuff, nerds always in technology, but also into aliens and everything else in between. Having a good time. Having a good time. Remember the Discord is open. If you ever want to jump in there, let me actually go in there. Bang. All right, I got it open. If anybody jump, just write me in YouTube so I know that you in there first. And all of these podcasts are streamed too on all your favorite streaming platforms. You just type in the Psy Tai podcast, it come right up. Still working on Apple Music, setting up with the logo and the dimensions still. I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna be on it. Hey, Velvet, Velvet, Velvet. Hey. Spark one up right now that you popped in. Grand Rising. I've been going on for a minute, tying on mindfulness and actually accessing it. Because something I can get into too. That's what caused depression in people. That's what caused depression in me and how I was looking at reality, even as when I was in college and stuff. Getting into the meta thinking, seeing what I was, seeing what was going on in the deep processes of my mind before, and not just paying attention to the cache memory of my mind of like what's going to be there for a moment, but then when I need to perform the next operation is wiped away by having an attachment or having a bigger processor going on, so that, and some loops going on so that I can always tie into the dimensions of where that memory is or that experience is stored on the hard drive or on the RAM, the memory disk or something like that. But seeing, you'll start thinking, for me, I started thinking that other people felt like how I felt. Like, oh, you think this deep too about the situation, or oh, you're noticing, you're picking up on the same signs, the same symbols. The symbols in this reality are speaking to you in the same way that they're speaking to me. Because symbols, they unlock different things in different people, different levels of different levels in different people. Like somebody can see a cross and think different things, have different realities experienced on them, or even numbers. Like you can show anybody like a number or something like that, they'll probably start freaking out like, oh, 1+1, like dang. I mean, like, or like some, even something more complicated. Not just 1+1. But just the example, like 1+1 to a kid will frustrate them or something like that. But like, say you show what somebody 1+1, and then it like just unlock the secret to the universe, or show somebody the formula of pi, 3 point, 3.1, 3.141569, something like that, and then keep on going. But if you look at pi under certain circumstances, and shout outs to Ozo, he talked about seeing and a lot of people of seeing the golden ratio played out in psychedelic experiences, and seeing it just in their face, and that then correlate into them thinking about reality as a whole, seeing these mathematical equations, these symbols. It's unlocking a whole different experience for us, but to see this. But to somebody else that will see it on paper or something like that, it'll be a different experience. But still, that can still change, because then depending on what people experienced in their lifetime, when you show them a certain symbol again, it will unlock that reality. And that's what got a lot of people scared about the government and stuff, and them practicing MK Ultra and having people unlock certain behavioral patterns when they flash certain symbols on the TV or play a certain sound or something like that. The symbol, that's the symbol, the sound, the symbol, the sigil, anything. Yeah, symbols hold massive amount of energy, Velvet. Everything is a symbol, symbolizing something, unlocking. That's why when I'm in the psychedelic experience, I don't even like to talk that. But I'm always in psychedelic experience, and I get like even during my daily day. That's why I'm seeing the balance of myself. I really like to not talk sometimes, like a lot of times. It's just I'm in an environment of people that like to talk a lot, but I like to not talk because then it unlocks my dream key. Yeah, it unlocks my dream key, as I will put it, where my thinking warps and it's like totally. It's like always a little bit imaginary, but it's like totally imaginary. Like not even totally, but like just more imaginary, as if I'm dreaming while I'm awake. Like I have stories, full stories play out that I will follow in my mind and stuff like that. They say that a lot of people, that's what they brought up in the Joe Rogan interview with the neuroscientist. She was talking about how society is not bored anymore. We don't, a lot of people don't allow themselves to experience boredom because they say, hey, that's, I'm bored. Like, why would I want to be bored? I want to occupy myself. And then even with social media, and this would put a flag up for me for a bit. Like even when you scrolling on social media, you think you rest in your mind and stuff like that, but you're still occupying your mind with something. You're still occupying it. It's still doing something. Like it's something what we call external. You know, it's different between external and internal, but it's still doing something. But when it's not there, when you're not doing something, when you're sensory deprived, say your mind, you see what's going on. Nothing sits still. Yeah, you see what was moving on in the temples of your mind. Like literally you see these temples. That's why we point to the temples, but it's really temples, hallways, galaxies, everything just just morphing in and out of itself, just going on. And when you not occupied, when you're sensory deprived in this reality, you're able to tap into that reality way more, way more. I take mushrooms a lot, and my dreams, what we call dreams in this reality, is just explosive. It's explosive. It's full script. And even before I go to sleep, like I'm not just dead sleep, like ugh, now I'm finally in that place where I wanted to be. It's like I can still be moving my arms, be attached to a little bit of hair, but it's like a certain state where my mind gets rid of the music that will be playing in this world and get rid of the everyday thoughts that will be in this world, and then it's attached to something different. And then I'm just experiencing it like with eyes closed, just walking, talking to people, flash events happening. Like right now, not close. I had a flash, was like a meteorite just hitting the random ground for some reason. But then that would continue on, and it would be just like the most randomest things. But though for me, it's realities, experiencing different realities. You say you can feel, Velvy, so I can feel my essence leaving and coming back into my avatar. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. That's how it's presented in cartoons and even in like yeah, just leaving my body. I'm leaving my body literally, and I can feel myself when I come back through the thoughts. And I noticed this through psychedelics and the come down and stuff, and how my thoughts would start processing differently. So I start tapping into that waking up, and I could feel like a song would start popping in my head, or I'll start saying, "Oh, let me brush my teeth," or something. Just something the most randomest thing that would just click me into this the script of what's going on in this reality, and like, oh, this the script. All right. Hey, Matias, it's been a Sanchez. Been a while. Happy to see you. Happy to see you. How's it going? How's it going? Welcome to the Psy Tai podcast, number 130. We've been keeping it going, keeping it fresh, keeping it alive. 140. Excuse me. But all of these experiences is very cool. It's all good. It's all good. Nice to hear. Wonderful. Wonderful. Where I start feeling playing League of Legends. I never got into that game. But I know it's a real popular game. You gotta check out RDC, their YouTube channel. They talk about anime, but they recreated and stuff. They've had League of Legends in there. They had every video game character inside one house, and then they was all talking to each other and having their interactions. It was funny. It was funny. But avatars and leaving your body, out of body experiences and stuff. I'm experienced these heavy, and I see what other people. Remember the movie Inception, and that lady, she was like, "Oh man, I want to go back to the dream world. Like that's all I want is where everything is. This world is not really enough and stuff like that." I totally know what she experienced and what she mean by that. What she mean because and that's just her not doing enough in this world. That was her problem in my book. You just gotta do some shit in this world and it's gonna make it worthwhile. But the way of actually when you experience another reality and able to tap into it and go there, it can is at first those the vibes you get for a lot of people. You get those it's part of getting your water wings. Getting your not your water your water wings or something like that. Your sea legs. I said your water wings. Never heard about your sea legs. Getting your sea legs. Just like going through the emotions of having your soul experience time travel and portal travel and what that means for your body to still exist here and you want to go over there like that. It's like wait, you can still go over there and still be here. You said you tried first time tried marijuana. Oh, you said you had an out of body experience on your first marijuana trip. That marijuana is a psychedelic. It's a psychedelic. The CBD, the CBA, the THC, the THA, all are being converted in your body and interacting with your endocannabinoid system. Yeah. I had some nice edible experience, some real nice edible experiences. The first time I was smoking weed, I remember just talking loud, really talking loud, and them saying, "Calm down, you talking real loud." And I was with somebody else before they were seeing colors and stuff. It's like you don't see the colors around and everything. It's a psychedelic. A lot of people would deny that, but light up if you choose to. And that's the lifestyle. Open up that portal. And said, Velvet, you said, then I'll be feeling like the 13th floor in Doctor Strange. Yeah, when you get out of body, yeah, that's how it feel. That's what I meant by that won't, won't. Just going into the different realities and it's shifting. And the more you relax with it, the more it shifts. The more it shifts, or else it'll go away. Or else you won't be able to access those portals unless you really, really sleep. But if you just accept it and keep practicing it, that's what I've been doing, it will allow it to just flow. To just flow. It's all dependent on you. And we all got our ways of manifesting our magic too. Like some got the earth, wind, fire. But for me, I bring the fire up and then I relax with it. I relax. I bring about a bunch of water energy. A bunch of water energy. And then convert that into air. Convert that into air so that it can then flow. So it can just be what it is. Like really be. Matias, you said I did milk marijuana a couple times. It lasted hours. I fell asleep on it. That's what used to happen when I used to take edibles in the beginning. I said I don't do nothing. I just go to sleep. I made milk tinctures in the past. I made some milk marijuana, and then I changed it. No, no, that's when I mixed it with the heavy cream. I had made some ice cream. It was delicious. It was delicious. I made some marijuana ice cream. That's actually one of my business dreams. Thinking to myself before I came here. Come to California, open up a marijuana ice cream store. Still possible. But mindfulness is it's a cool thing. It's a legit thing. That's why I'm hearing a lot of people, and even in like what we call the minority community, and as we could say in America, talk about mental health a lot more and say, oh, we always play off mental health, but it's actually something that's affecting us, and that's why we're even killing each other and stuff like that. And that's also shouts to Charlemagne. Charlemagne is going big on mental health, having organizations out there. He got a new show on Comedy Central where they talk about mental health a lot, but they put it into funny ways and stuff like that. So it's big time. It's big time with us actually as human beings in our evolution tapping into other gears in our minds and seeing what's going on. As it always been. As it always been. Can't say nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new under the sun. They've been doing it back then, it just had a different name. So now as we exist now, this is what we doing. This is what we doing, and it's either like left up to the religion or is left up to the government or is left up to the person as an individual or left up to the group, because we still do things as groups. We still piece together our beliefs and stuff based off of group pattern thinkings at a lot of moments, even if we in that group and we the person in the group that want to change what the group is thinking or influence what the group is saying. Everything we saying is an influence. That's why a lot of times, like, man, why talk? Like, I'm just influencing and stuff. And sometimes ain't the time to do that. Ain't the time to do that. Other times it is. Velvet said nothing is. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't bring up the chat. And there we go. Focus. All right. You said nothing is impossible but the limitations but that we put forth. Yeah, the barriers that we come into when we wake up into reality. He said, I kind of don't feel his vibe, but if it can shed the light to the matter of the subject, I'm here for it. Yes, I don't have the remote in here. I think. Yeah. Yeah, if they can get it out, they can let them get they getting it out. He said, "Hey, here is hot Thai. There is cold in Argentina. There is a cold in Argentina. Oh, this it's just calmed down from the hotness. It just calmed down from the hotness, Matias. It was hot all summer, but for the past 5 days, it's been raining, storming as it should to help because usually it's fires around this time in Northern California. But now that it's been raining, I think that's going to be way lessened. We had the big fires earlier this summer, but usually it's like the regular. I mean the fall fires and stuff because it was dry all summer. But this year we ain't having that. This year we ain't having that. We called upon the rain. Called upon the rain. And I usually keep track because that's when I go hunting, looking for the mushrooms and stuff around November. I'm like, oh, it's finally raining and stuff. Let's go out. Go out. See what we find. This year's probably gonna be a little earlier. Oh, this was I was bringing up the Inside Job show earlier. How did Discord get so big? Let me open up the Discord too. Now that I went through everything that I wanted to say earlier, I'll be in the Discord. Whoa, got a JavaScript error as soon as I clicked on it. All right, I'm gonna try to. Let me get off this black screen. My back. I'm gonna open up the Discord. That's the place. If y'all know where we come, you can talk live on the air. Properties. Yeah, we're just gonna do it like this. All right, I got the Discord open. Here go the video from the inside job.
Guy takes mushroom, becomes genius.
Not yours, collect.
With Reagan's trajectory combined with the tailwind of 7.5 knots, she's taking them to the portal to the hollow earth.
Of course. She can't bring Hal to the edge of the earth, but she can make him think she can.
Andre, this is your brain on drugs. Keep licking. Oh. Oh.
MI6, got your mayday. Can we be of assistance?
Yes, I need a satellite.
And what was wild about that clip, I'm sorry the audio was really low. But what was funny about that clip, oh, you said, and you find many mushrooms or just 2 or 3? To go back to that. Yeah, I find a lot. And I don't really find them in the forest. I be finding them on the streets and stuff in Chico, because a lot of, like, the forest still kind of in the town. It's called the City of Trees. I want to go to, like, a neighboring town, a neighboring forest, and see what's up there. In Bidwell Park, I don't really find that many mushrooms. Or that's the park that I'm close to. If you was to ever Google it, Bidwell Park. I don't go to Cohasset. Well, in that clip I just played with the mushroom and everything, is wild because in that show, he was talking about Hollow Earth and getting all these what people call wild thoughts, but in that world, that was the truth. And he ate the mushroom and he was now being able to process things a lot faster. So I like how they put it in the cartoon, because cartoons always tell the truth in like the trippiest ways. They ain't just gonna just put it blatantly out there like they being personal with you, but like, hey, analyze this for your own reality. Let this, like we was talking about before, symbols. How is the symbol appearing to you? What is it unlocking in your reality? What is put forth to you? Like the power of Christ or power of praying hand lady. But yeah, that's part of the show. So shout outs to that. You said my favorite game. He said, Velvet, he said, what if the games and the movies that we saw prepared us for this moment? My favorite game was Mario. It's me. Hold on. It's a Mario. Yeah. I still play Mario to this day, Velvet. I was just playing the old Mario 64. That was the first game I ever had in kindergarten. My mom bought the 64 system. I have it on the Switch now. And I was replaying the levels. I should have played it live, but I got to get comfortable with playing live games on this channel. Cause I be like, do people want to see games, or do people want to just me to talk about spiritual stuff or whatever? But instead of debating, I'm just gonna do whatever and play games and talk and everything like I've been doing this whole time. If you go back, those just the shadow voices, as people say, the confusion and stuff like that. Them spirits, like, just brush on past them. But yeah, I was playing that. Then I started playing Mario Odyssey, where Mario actually meet real people. I got real far into that. I was like, yo, this is cool. They kept everything updated and stuff, like one of the latest Marios. But as compared to all the games preparing us for where we are now in movies, I had a mushroom experience that, without any words, allowed me to experience just that, where I was in the movies and video games, and the sense, the meta feeling, the tie feeling I talk about, that's deep down inside, that's analyzing the life or just experiencing it as it is, that I tap into, or that I am. Not even I got tap into, I am. When I was in the journey, like how you would look at a person on the show and be like, oh wow, I feel what they're going through the journey. They was here, they grew up on the island, and they went off of the island, did this and that. I was doing all that in my journey, and I was seeing how it was just related to the movies. Like afterwards, it was like, oh wow, that was just like the movie. But in the trip, I was in a video game. Like particularly, I was in a video game. One of the video games I was playing that was based off of somebody else's trip experience. Or what I said was their trip experience, because it was about them going, experiencing a girl going down rivers and stuff and experiencing the monsters of her own design, as we would put it. But they was in her face. But I was exactly in that game. I was in the game. And I was the character in the game. Throwing the boat. So now, and then after the journey, I saw how all the music, all the muses and everything, but we say the spiritual significance of it. It was all like leading me and journey, like preparing me. Velvet. It's it was a game called not a game. Somebody just posted on TikTok. I agreed with. They were saying System of a Down is a band that talk about a lot of political stuff, but they also put it into like high rev rock music. And that was one of the bands I was listening to in middle school. And one of my favorite bands. I still listen to them now. But now he was like saying, I see now how System of a Down radicalized me into the guy that I am today. Into like thinking about all these different subjects, and they put the chaos of the guitar behind it to introduce like, yeah, this is a lot going on, but then put the harmonies and the melodies in there that allow you to glide through all the chaos and see and then just experience it for what it is. But actually had that position of speaking out against some things for my life. That's how it's been. Like I see, go back and I see, oh, that's why I'm thinking like this. Oh, that's why I like to talk about these kind of weird things. Like that's everything I always been into was like this. And they say reality is correlated, is made for us. Boom, bada bang, bada boom. All right, what was?
Skate park art.
I already showed that one. I got another video. Like I said, I got certain segments that I want to show from the TikToks that I found throughout time. Instead of putting in the meme show all the time, sometimes go over it live.
Did you know that?
All right, this one was about terpenes. They say you smoke tobacco. Yeah, I smoked. It's got this one mixed with tobacco and marijuana in good old California. Sometimes I don't put tobacco in it, and if I don't want my mind to go too far, and I still want to like participate, or sometimes I just don't smoke, or I like wait a bit. It's like a balance in that. Yeah, the tobacco mixed with the marijuana, it's like it's a good mix, it's a good relaxation. There you go. Right.
Did you know that just smelling rosemary can increase focus and decrease anxiety? This is caused by aromatic molecules called terpenes. Rosemary is especially high in pinene, eucalyptol, and limonene. Not only do these terpenes smell nice, but they also have antibacterial properties. And rosemary has a lot of other therapeutic potential like antioxidant and neuroprotective effects. Pinene, eucalyptol, and limonene can also be found in other medicinal plants like pine trees, eucalyptus, and weed.
And weed. Now, we was talking about that before. We talking about that before getting into the smells and senses and that creating environments. And that's why the expensive weed and stuff, when you really get into it, they sell the terpenes separate that you can mix with the dabs or mix with your weed, sprinkle some terpenes on top of it. That smell is creating the relaxation that when you experience that from smoking some good bud, man, it's a whole nother world. Whole nother world. Whole nother world. A whole nother world looking for this lighter. Oh, I'll pop up there. You said you want to get an Aura camera. I used to hear about those way back when. People taking pictures of people auras. They got fake ones on TikTok. They were saying the first, or whatever you call fake, it could still be real. Say the first color that it shows is your aura. I did a picture. I did it. Made a talk with it, video with it, but I was smoking in it, so they took it down. So I gotta make it again. So I vibe with you. That's what I'm saying, Velvet. I vibe with you. I want to get an Aura Cam too, just to see what the technology is, and see like if you think and focus your mind, get it to different brain waves or however it do, and see if it changes depending on how you're doing it, not just readily just creating some fake lights around you and stuff like that. Yeah, smell sense is on point like a bloodhound dog. Yeah. Sense of smell, like was talking about the terpenes and everything. You see, that's why like some people can live in dirty environments and never even know because they ain't smelling it. Or that's what they smelling. That smell is creating that environment with them thoughts and stuff like that. Get a good whiff of fresh air, fresh, all your thoughts start changing. All your thoughts. And there's chemicals in the air too, ain't just oxygen. Aromatherapy. Aromatherapy getting into incense and they got the infusers and stuff like that out. I want to get one of those infusers to put the essential oils in and just doop, 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 couple drops. Couple drops and have it go. Ever since I started doing mushrooms, my sense of smell's been coming back. Like it's literally been the reality. I've been living the reality of being able to smell the flowers again, being able to stop and smell the flowers. Like like being able to have my thoughts slow down and get the sense of, oh, there's flowers here, and knowing what it is, because it's like, oh, it's just decoration. It's just this. But also being able to actually smell it. Like the whiff hit me. Oh, this is who you are. This is what you putting out. Yeah, smells have vibrations. It's what they putting out. It's what we putting out. The smells. The form of communication. Smell like a bag of weed. People know like, oh, you smell like a pound, and they always excited about it unless they don't like weed. And like, oh man, get that pound out of here, and they bring about other realities in their mind. The plants are awesome. I just got this one right here. Oh, you can't see it because it's a green screen, but you can see a little bit of it. That one yesterday. You said my mom loved plants. She always busy with that. She stops always to smell and see things because it's a whole reality people missing out on. It's a whole reality that's able to be experienced, and then you can like get rid of it, or like become desensitized to it, or keep tapping into it. I love the people, like I admire people that get into the smell competitions and they can like really have distinctive, like they trained their sense of smell to distinguish between different things. Like their mind is working on a whole different kind of vibes.
Well, get ready for this one.
All right, I got another video about it's this guy that he considers himself a schizophrenic, which means like the term of that means splitting of the mind, and how we see it in reality and Psy Tai podcast, experiencing different realities as opposed to just being attuned to just saying a one and stuff like that. But people ask him questions and stuff, and he gives some interesting answers. And he does a lot of drawings of faces that he says he sees. He said they're not really like that. They're more fractal. He done acid and stuff before too, and they're more fractal in design. But he sees them all the time. So here goes something he had to say.
Well, get ready for this one. I asked them before, what happens when we die? And they said, you return to the realm where we are. And I'm like, what does that mean? And they say, you go to a place where your frequency is. So if you die and you're obsessed with like bumblebees and flowers, get ready because you're going to go somewhere that matches that energy. You know what I mean? And they've also said that life is a transition into another dimension. They've told me many times before not to fear death. And they said death isn't to be feared if you're living an authentic life. It shouldn't be feared like period, but if you're living an authentic existence, you're going to go authentically where you belong when you die, because death is just a dream world. It's like, you know, like the eternal dream where you can do anything.
Death. He said death is like the eternal dream where you can do anything. Oh, I love how that was put. Baby said my senses are so good that if I lose something, I will cut off the lights and smell for it, and I usually find it. That's on point. That's on point, Velvet. Yeah, that's a superpower. Straight up superpowers over here. But yeah, talking about the dreams, and it's an infinite dream where you're able to do anything. That's what death is. I love that. I love that. That's the vibes that I get from my psychedelic journeys and being able to do different things. And one of the tidbits that led me here thinking is, you ever watch? Wait, hold on. My microphone is sensitive. When on American Horror Story season 3 Coven, when the witches and everything, when they actually went to their hell, it was their personal hell based off of what was going on in the deepest corners of their mind at that time. Like, I remember the girl that played in Precious, she had to serve fried chicken to disgruntled customers for all of eternity. And then the other girl, she had to work in a shopping center. And the irony of her working there is that, to make it even worse, is that she knew that she was in hell. Then that's how the reality was created to make it even worse. But it was all part of them finishing their 7 wonders, which was something in the show. They had to do the 7 wonders in order to see who would be the supreme and the master of their witchhood. And if you complete the 7 wonders, like, they had to get themselves out of the hell. They had to not stay there and be able to use their mind to manifest them back into this reality and not just get lost. Yes. I am not sure where the remote is. Yeah, I'm not sure, babe. It's somewhere out there. Look in the hallway and everything. Was something in the show. They had to do the 7 wonders in order to see who was. Oh yeah, I was talking about the 7 wonders, and they had to use that to get out. They had to use their own mind to manifest a different reality. And then in the new season, right before the latest season, American Horror Story, I got my mom to watch it. They bring back the magicians, and it's this guy that they've shown off his powers and stuff. But the overall point is that he's able to go into those realities where they was lost, that so-called lost in hell, because some of them was still there from season 3, and help them get out. That's how powerful of a magician he was, being able to go inside other people's realities and help and like change it and put them somewhere else. But yes, here, come and get it, please. Just hurry up. Hey, and welcome to the Psy Tai podcast. Hey. Number 140. It's Psy Tai. We're here talking about the American Horror Story, realities, creating death. Where do we go? Because I'm not saying I know exactly where we go. I'm just talking about my experience. Because then, after watching American Horror Story and having psychedelic out of body psychedelic experiences, not just in body, taking it, walking around, talking, doing stuff and everything, but out of body, it seemed to be based off of my circumstance and my meta thinking, what was in the background thoughts of what I was actually, of who I was in that moment of eternity, in eternity, like in this life, not even in eternity, because different versions of myself. But just being like that and experiencing the hell journey, what people term hell and fire, and using my own mind, just like in the show, to not stay there forever and manifest a different reality, move on. And then see what that was, and it really felt like I died, like what people will term dying mentally, like everything, not really physically, but physical, but it's so warped because this can be a whole nother physical than the one that I took before I did the mushroom. But that's the technology of this world. We don't have the lyrics to explain it. And had the scientific words to really put it out there the way that it's experienced. Hey, what happened to my water? Oh, right in front of me. I having those out of body experiences, and then later having experiences later in life, and then with the dreams and everything, being able to have, I'm having a sense of control in my dreams and stuff. It's like, hey, this is. It feels like that's death. Death is just like say eternal sleep. Wait until he closes the door. Is death is eternal sleep. It's something way different than what the stories, the folklore, and everything say. You said, yeah, I'm convinced that this is a simulation. 7-7 highway to heaven. Yep. A heaven within a heaven within a heaven within a hell, heaven, heaven, hell, hell, like whatever formulation you want to put it on. Like this reality is fucking with this reality, but it was created by this more heavenly reality for this purpose, and then that's created by another heavenly reality. Yeah, just bouncing off those terms of heaven and hell realities. Who knows? I got another one. Got another video. Going along with your simulation, what you was saying, Velvet. Look at this one was pretty funny. There ain't no way everyone here is real. Like, yeah, some of them were just rendered into the stadium to fill it in, to make it seem like it was a lot of people. I found that interesting because it's like people putting these kind of thoughts out into the atmosphere. It's usually left up the movies and personal. Oh, it's just what I thought. But in that TikTok environment, they just put it out there like that. Like, oh, sorry, just said I'm convinced all these people are not real. But that's how big the rendering engine is. How big that graphics processor is. The graphics processor is probably old school. They're like processor. That's what we used to use back then. Using old language. Well, your reality's language that we created. Or that you was a part of creating too. What's another good one? Dealing with simulation. Oh, this one was pretty cool. Look, my video game character trying to do anything. Wait. My video game character trying to do anything before smoking.
Maybe I should pack a bowl before I go. Better light one up before I go. I should probably take a couple hits before I go. I'm not feeling good. Maybe I should pack a bowl.
Y'all ever play an adventure game? That's what it's copying off of, and you really trying to leave the game and do something that's not according to the mission, but then they keep on making stuff pop up to make you do before you leave the room. That's enveloping is is that reality and having those thoughts, because our thoughts, we think like, oh, I'm just obeying I am my thoughts, and I am this. And that's why people term ego and ego death is experiencing. Wait, I'm not this train of thoughts, but the something that I'm following and creating along the way. And in terms of video games and stuff, imagine you being a controller of video game, and you really sit there trying to do something with Tai, and you're like, no, you got to do the show. You want to go skate? You thinking, oh, got to do show. Oh, it would be really interesting to bring up this. It would just slightly convincing yourself. I like to see thoughts as just really as something that just passes on. Just it's like where it's just just passes on like a yeah, it just passes like you have a million thoughts, but it's not you. It's just something that's going on. Just something that's going on in your sky, in your waters, and we can attach ourselves to those different thoughts at different parts in time. Say, oh, I'm this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm saying this. Like embody it fully. That's why I like theater and stuff like that, and creating artwork because it's like pronouncing something. It's like I'm here. It's like I caught onto this thought. I exist. I am alive. It's cool. It's interesting. Interesting. It's time. It's time. Good about the sound effects too. Other one.
I collaborated with.
This is a cool video. Somebody said they collaborated with Eric Andre, who's a famous comedian. And they made like this cool 3D animation that I found out is made with this program called Data Mash. I gotta figure out how to use that.
I collaborated with Eric Andre and made this animation. It took effing ages to make.
Ligma is real. Live, laugh, Ligma. Wake up. Ask me about my Ligma. Ligma balls.
Enjoy.
Ligma balls.
This loop is slightly different.
Relax. Unclench your mind.
Let us know what we should make next.
Like that?
Oh, that was dope. That was dope. And that's what I mean by relaxing and allowing it to actually play out, the shifting of reality. That's literally like how it looks to me. I've seen that plenty of times. Like how you see this? Going glitching out. Oh, now I don't want to glitch out. I want to be all perfect. Oh, now you want to be all perfect. You don't want to glitch out. Screaming, glitching out this whole time. Showing the little green behind me. But no, that didn't work. It didn't work. But yeah, I seen that data mosh with my own eyes. And you just relax. That's the best way. That's when I'm in like more of the creator mode. And like I created this. And that's what's one of my mantras, to be relaxed in those situations. As if I'm creating, I'm seeing all the creations. This is still me philosophizing about it. I'm seeing all the creations instead of feeling like I'm participating in the actual reality. Once I feel like I am, I am. There go the glitch. There go the glitch. See, I am, and then it just popped up. But yeah, once I participate in reality, once that's why all our thoughts is concerned about family, work, missions, because that's what we're doing. We're here. But in that state, I was totally different. Totally different. I was Psy Tai. I was like the Psy Tai higher incarnation. Like got Psy Tai, got Tai, got Steph. It's like different levels of like here. This is my character playing out Tai. Like you say, the controller character, and then Psy Tai is up there creating or in there creating the rims and stuff like that. But it all ties together. And that helps me in my personal life with these experiences to have some kind of story based off my experience, my own personal life, not Superman's, not Martin Luther King, not Will Smith, not your favorite imaginary character, but what my personal life and what I've been through. And it allows me to operate to still be able to build with people and build with myself, get along with people, not feel so lost in the world, not feel so trapped as if everything is out and trying to get me. It helps me with relaxation, helps me center my thoughts so in a way so that so that I can feel satisfied in life, feel enjoy the accomplishments as they come along, delve into the sadness as it comes along, see what's going on with the destruction if it happens. But all along, not saying, hey, this is everything, but this is a part of the project. Part of the project. Thank you, Velvet and Martinez, for being here today on the Psy Tai podcast. I really appreciate y'all for being in the room, listening to this live, listening to me tie. I have another video. Oh, this one was cool. This is what I meant by relaxing. Because things can come up as a bunch of turmoil and stuff with these kind of experiences. And that's why a lot of people like, but then start taking medications, say, oh, I lost my mind, I never got it back. They start getting SSRIs, start taking different medications, start calling themselves crazy. They get depressed, they say people don't understand them and stuff like that. And that's a wild, wild world. And then people be like this. This how people be. And say, look, man, can you lay off the synchronicities and singularity events for like one day, asking for a friend? He all worn, he got the whole beard going on, his eyes is just blacked out. And he's asking the black cube and all the symbols that's going on. In touch with the beyond. They're just syncing up. But I switch that shit around. I say the sync is real. The sync is real. Sync it till I go to the other worlds. The sync is real. Like this whole project, this whole Just Tainow project is a self-care project. Is a project on self-care. Mental care. But I'm not the example that I would want anybody to say, hey, exactly what he doing, that's what I gotta do. No, I'm just existing. This was something cool about the virtual world and psychedelics and everything else. And see how we have mushrooms in this world and we say, who put the mushrooms here in this reality for us to wake up to ourselves or see parts of ourselves or have the neurochemistry unlock, attach us to certain realities and however you term it. If you're a chemist, if you're a philosopher, if you're just an experiencer, it comes in different ebbs and flows. But who put it here? Like who put it as part of this game? These tryptamine chemicals, as opposed to these other chemicals. And now in the virtual world, it's this company that's developing these NFT pills that would affect your metaverse character. Your metaverse character is your avatar that you'll be able to take the different games and have the same character and meet up with your friend. So they're creating these pills in these games. I want to get in on this too. I really do. So if y'all know anybody out there, send this to them. But here it is right here. This is the guy explaining it. Hopefully there's no song behind.
Pills are here, and I just bought this one for $500 or 0.15 Ethereum. If you haven't heard of these, they're called biopills, and some of them can cost thousands of dollars. Basically, they're trying to be the first company to create consumable NFTs that can be used across different metaverses. But the end goal is to actually allow collectors of these pills to consume them as their future virtual reality self, which then they'd be granted unique abilities, emotes, or power-ups. I like this NFT project because these actually have utility. Yes, of course, they're super cool looking, but the idea that every pill has its own unique properties and in the future will provide its own unique trip to whoever consumes it, that's what sold me. My pill looks like it'll give me heightened senses and paranoia, so that might be a little scary. Guys, are these virtual collectibles going too far? Also, do you think an actual pharmaceutical company could get involved with biopills? I don't even know anymore. Peace.
Well, let's answer those questions.
Do you think an actual pharmaceutical company could get involved with biopills? I don't even know any.
Can the actual pharmaceutical get involved with this company? And have they gone too far? I think they have not gone too far. I think it's heading in a cool direction. Because the metaverse characters, it's going to be people that's going to feel trapped in that after a while, or feel like this is all there is. And then this thing that people going to been taking since its inception going to know, going to have all these different abilities like really readily available. And then probably gonna be people hiding them and stuff like that, dishing them out. They see they cost thousands of dollars. They cost thousands of dollars already. And with a pharmaceutical company getting involved in that, yeah, it'll be that would be so funny. That would be so funny because then that will only be if in the metaverse they made it so that it's stats like in the RPG, especially like in San Andreas, as opposed to the other Grand Theft Autos where you have to worry about eating and you can gain weight, lose weight, and stuff like that. They probably come out with diet pills, a pharmaceutical company, virtual diet pills for your character. But I'm gonna always be in the know because I'm gonna know how to change my character around the coding itself, to change it around without any external stimuli, but as well have it for fun. That's how I'm controlling my character right now. That's why I look so young. What y'all call young. I just be like, hey, I'm just me. I don't really put that much thought into it. That's part of the magic. Velvet, you said the medication will make you cray if you take it. Let's go ahead. He said it had the, what did he say was one of the things? Paranoid, heightened senses, paranoia. Like they literally put paranoia into it. But sometimes paranoia is good. A little paranoia is good for you. Get the engine running. See what fears you forgot about. Be on a whole new engine afterwards. They got different levels of it. That's a project I'm interested in. They call bio pills. Let's look at the I don't want to bring up Chrome. I want to actually look up the dun da da da. Say actually look up what the again. Bio pills. The company. See what they about on their website. 10,000 unique procedurally generated pills. Blue, yellow, orange pills is a collective of 10,000 unique procedurally generated 3D pills, each crafted and tried by Boris the Cook. Yo, man, that's a magician. Oh, God. And Boris the Magician, Boris the Cook, and stored on the Ethereum blockchains, a step towards metaverse consumables. Sold out. God dang, already. 10,000 unique 3D pills rights. Each owner is entitled to the usage and commercial usage rights of their NFT. Use wisely. Each pill grants exclusive membership access to Boris Research Facility. So you take the pill, you get access to more information. Your pill is revealed directly after purchase. We don't believe in delayed blah. Our pills are distributed blah blah. Gaining access. So you get access to their Akashic record. Get perks and so they got a whole story around it. Dedicating his life to the Boris the Cook. I told you he's a magician. Dedicating his life to the highest level of consciousness, Boris has crafted thousands and thousands of pills throughout the years, taking him from one life-changing trip to another, each unique in his own way. From the darkest of horrors to the brightest of rainbows, Boris has 10,000 trips worth of wisdom. With his constant, I think Boris is a made-up person though, or he exists in another room. With his constant, relentless pursuit of brain enlightenment, there were no limits to what Boris would do, and nowhere he would stop. Of his 10,001 pill, Boris went on a trip that he is yet to return from. Rumors have surfaced about his whereabouts, his fate, and even his intentions, but the truth remains, there is no truth. His disciples have decided to share his work with the special few worthy of it. to give them the gift of enlightenment, and hopefully together find and bring Boris back. We gotta find Boris. So that's cool. They got a whole story behind it and stuff like that. It's definitely gonna be other companies that's gonna jump into trying to create pills and psychedelics for NFT characters. All types of aborted fetuses, all types of cells. In this room, that's how it is. In this room, Velvet, that's how it is. Speaking of the trips, though, in the metaverse character, I was actually, and I see this as like a moment in my life that was sacred, like one of the sacred moments. It's all sacred, but it was like a top moment I really want to share right now. I was in VR chat, which is like one of the biggest virtual worlds like to date right now, like literally. Like how many people are hooked up to the virtual set on a computer in one world, well, different realities, but one game, interacting with each other socially and not just to play games. And so our ancestors didn't take pills, they took herbs. Yeah, somebody gonna come out with just the herbs in NFT verse. And that's what I was getting into. I experienced like taking the pill in the NFT in the virtual world a little bit, playing the game. And like in VR chat, you can copy characters sometimes, and sometimes you can't. They make it so you can't steal somebody else's avatar. But I was talking to somebody before about a LSD trip. I had asked him that he take psychedelics, like in the he's hooked up to the VR, and he was like, yeah. He was talking about how he relaxed in it, how the world shifts and his thoughts and everything becomes more real, and the virtual reality becomes more vivid, and his thoughts attached to it and stuff like that. But he gifted me a character where I was able to make everything look like it was glitching out, and it was certain settings to make trippy. But then that account got glitched out somehow. I don't know what happened. When I downloaded somebody else's character, it messed up my account. But it was an awesome experience to be able to have that unique character that was able to, in that world, that was able to have visual trips and distortions and stuff like that. So moving forward to the metaverse, it's gonna be a popular thing. It's gonna be a popular thing. Next video. But also, well, our ancestors didn't have the technology to make pills, or they trusted the medicine man a lot more. Let's say that they trusted their medicine men a lot more back then, because they was in smaller groups. Now we in such big groups, we don't know who making the medicine, and then them trying out different things on our system and saying that it works, but then it really being part of a bigger study, a bigger like 5-10 year study that's in preparation of this other medicine, but they had to get this one out first. Yeah, here on Earth is dense. We got a lot of trials and tribulations. People cutting corners. Even how they putting fentanyl on the streets, mixing it in pills and stuff, killing comedians and our friends and everything. There's another one. Here's another one. I need another one. Here's another. Here goes a yeah, she did some cool art. Not sure about the art. I think it had some mushrooms in there too. Show it off. There we go. Real trippy. Here goes another a cool art exhibit. I don't know where it is. If y'all know where it is, let me know. But it's very reminiscent of the DMT realm. It's very reminiscent of the DMT realm. I don't want to look at that. That was so short. There we go. And they got it all projection mapped on the walls. giving people a glimpse of the experience that they probably don't even believe is real. Like some people walk in there and be like, "Oh, this is cool. Somebody drew this." Other people like, "I've been here before." Whoever put that together, genius. But it was real simple. The technology already exists, just need the idea. I'm trying to find another one real quick for us to go off of. This lady said, "This gonna be me when I wake up from this human trip and alien homie looks at me and tells me I was out for 10 minutes." That's it.
Thomas is a lawyer and got arrested. Are you shitting my dick?
Guys, virtual pill.
That's how you think it will be, but it's actually a cool thing when you see your homies.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is another one saying, "Me on shrooms, realizing everyone's doing things to get into heaven, realizing heaven is here on earth."
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! The whole time you were, the whole time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's how it gets.
Guys, virtual pills are here, and I just bought this one for $500.
Sid runs.
Oh, this is somebody that jogs on acid. When I was microdose acid, I was really actively productive.
Sid runs
I keep thinking, like, I keep thinking people are staring at me because I'm on drugs and shit. Yeah, but it's like, because I'm shredded. What the fuck?
Yeah, nobody know you actually high. But those are the thoughts. You think everybody can understand and hear what's going on in your mind. And that's what I talk about, like, with the when you start really pay attention to your thoughts, the strongness that you got to get in your mind, that is not, and it comes with experience and knowing that everybody can't read your mind, everybody not reading your mind, everybody like not, it's not, reality not working like that at the moment, but that don't mean that it's not working like that. So that vibe seems, is so real, so real. That's why I be like, yo, do people antennas just not be tuned, like turned the right way so they can catch the thought? 'Cause I know they hear me. But it's something that we all do.
Well, get ready for
that one. No, it's at least one more. All right, this girl was saying she tried shrooms once. What happened?
I used to have a lot of fear and sadness, but now I'm fine.
Used to have a lot of fear and sadness, but now I'm fine. And she put in that work too with it. Put in that work. But that's why a lot of people still think that doing mushrooms have you go crazy, have you not know what's going on with yourself and lose track of things and everything. But that's just who you are. It is a tool that's helping a lot of people. A lot of people actually accomplish mental feats that will usually take a long time, years of therapy. It happens with people, but it takes years of therapy and working things out, and to be able to have those realizations and wait for those moments and experiences to pop up in life. But during the psychedelic experiences, like you had 10, 50, would go through 10 relationships with like 50 like different kinds of people, and then you come out with that experience of actually doing that. And then warping that into the actions of how you now behave now. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and it's something that just grows straight out of the earth. Velvet. Read up. Do. He said, I've been waiting on Lucy for months, well, years, this whatever now. It's ways. I've been feeling the itch too lately for the past like 2 weeks. Been a long time. Like even microdosing it was something cool. Was something cool that I really enjoyed. With how it allowed my mind to process thoughts, or how my mind was how we say my mind was processing thoughts, and my attentiveness to certain things, and just being able to tap into different records of like what seemed like it's thoughts outside of myself, but helping with the situation at hand. It was I was watching Kill Tony yesterday, which is a cool comedian show. It's the biggest live comedic show like out right now. I've been watching it for like a couple months, and this is like facts. And it's not my feelings, like the views and everything. But it was somebody on there that was saying like all these funny jokes. But he was saying how he does acid and stuff. He had an acid tattoo in his arm. So then Tony Hinchcliffe, the host, brought somebody from the audience, I mean not from from the audience, that was a friend of his, that he said, yeah, you said you got an acid tattoo, I want you to meet acid right now. And he said that because his bro, he does acid like 4 times a week. He said it fluctuate, but it was real. That was a real funny moment. Y'all gotta check it out. It was on the latest one, and like towards the middle. But he's like, yeah, this is what acid looks like. He's like, yeah, man. Fuck, he just said all his catchphrases and stuff, but he was just in the zone, chilling. He was a drummer for life. He said, Velvet, when nature is ready for me, I'll be ready for nature. That's the position. That's the position. It's like I said, it's out there. When it come, it's gonna come. Work reality, and it's gonna work. It's gonna come. I got
Love this game.
Here goes somebody using they edibles in order to
Love this game.
activate sim mode for mindless chores. Yeah, that's something. Like mindless chores, washing dishes. That's why when people do mushrooms and stuff afterwards, sometimes they want to clean their house. Or while they on it during the come up during acid or something like that, especially on lower doses or stuff. You're like, man, my house is like, I want to actually clean, wash the dishes. It's like you tap into that sim mode, like in the Sims. Like the dishes ain't gonna wash themselves. You gotta tap on it and then allow you sit back for a bit, and then just allow the sim to do what it do while you thinking about other things. That's what I see about sim mode, taking the edibles. Like just take it, I go somewhere else and just allow the body to run along and do some activities. How many how many times that happening to people without them even realizing it too? That's why I like to realize it happens way more than you would think. But taking edibles and smoking and doing different things during the day, when you really relaxed enough, when I'm really relaxed enough, that's exactly how it is. It's like, oh, this is just straight sim mode, period, right now. Period. Let's just flow. Let's do what we gotta do. We tap in. A lot of people tap into those modes only when they at work and stuff like that. Like, let me put my mind somewhere else so that I can do the job and stuff. But we can always put our minds in other places and get the job done. It don't always gotta be a bad place we going to or a bad situation. But just controlling where our mind is, seeing where our mind is, not even controlling, but just seeing where our mind is, and then walk another path, making decisions and stuff. Instead of just keeping it, yeah, instead of just keeping it as it is. Like once you become aware of it, it becomes aware. The situation itself becomes aware of change, not you changing. It was like the situation is alive, a moment, and it becomes aware of the change, and then decides to do what it wants to do. The roller coaster changes and does what it want it does. I said does what it want it does. Does what it want to do.
Hey, you said that was
It
CBD?
does what it
No, I
wanna do.
said P.
This was something funny as well. I watched it already, but say when you smoke with the quiet dude from work for the first time.
Hey, you said that was CBD? No, I said PCP, bro.
That's the zoom out effect. Reality and the reality, part of something else. Part of something else. Wonderful. Here go another one. When you come down from your life-changing trip and it's 6 in the morning. Ooh, I had some beautiful acid trips like this. When you come down, just yeah, that's what it is. Wow.
Well done! Well done!
Yeah, whoever created this, well done. Like, man, well done to ourselves. However you look at the higher head. Like how we look at games and paintings and be like, I be looking at the paintings I do and be like, yo, wow. Wow. But then reality's like, this is a creation as well. This is a creation as well. That's what the guy was bringing up. Especially after seeing all the different realities, seeing this one. It's like, wow, this is as magnificent as the other ones. This is just going on here. And sometimes I feel like it's crap. So the guy from the I was talking about the Lex Friedman podcast earlier, and he was interviewing a computer scientist and philosopher and magician, and he was saying how this computer scientist guy was saying how he believed that VR will actually help people appreciate this life a lot more and the artistry that exists here. And I readily believe that because that's what happened with me with psychedelics and with the VR. Like I brought up the example before, I didn't, because of COVID and everything, I didn't go to the movie theaters in like over a year. But I was going to the movie theaters in VR. And then I was like, yo, getting all the fascinations of like fascination, which means like getting into it, being entranced, getting like I'm fully into it. So I was like, yo, look how the seats are. Look at the curtain. They got the light in all right. Like, yo, I can work with this. This is dope. This is this is like the movie theaters. And then I did it so much and so long that when I actually went to the real movie theaters in this life, my thought was like, yo, this is just like the VR, but this is like better. Like, wow, this is cool. So it made me allow me to really appreciate actually sitting in a movie theater because like now my senses are all involved. Like I'm really immersed in the movie theater, way like even more than I was in that one. So immersion is something else. Immersion in our senses and what we consider real and not real is pretty cool. But appreciation for everything for me is pretty. I like to do that because I appreciate the VR world as well. But I see what he was talking about with coming back and then looking around and wow. Because now that I create things in VR in 3D Blender a lot, I look at trees, I look at everything as if I'm building it. Like when you make a shader, it's always like a ball, and you can like a shader is like it holds a texture. So like this has a texture on it of all of these things going around and stuff like that. It has the texture of this plastic, how much light is reflected off of it to make it look like plastic or look like tin or look like metal or something like that. That's what a shader has. And I always put it in a ball so you can see it all. So when I was looking at this marble, all I kept saying to myself was, yo, this is a purple marble floor texture. I can use this texture to create a marble floor. Like if I was to create a square on there, I'll be able to copy the texture from here to the square, and then it will have exactly the same properties of this ball. So that's all I could think about when I look at it. I was like, yo, I'm holding the texture in my hand. Or when I look at the trees, I'd be like, oh, that's the cylinder. You can go like this and that, and it's branched off like that. I see the fences. I just see like the wire frame of reality. I see the wireframe of reality without psychedelics. And it's giving me a vast appreciation for the matrix that we're in right now, the mother that we're in, the mother matrix. How people put it. And allowing me to want to do things here, like allowing me to say, "Oh, I want to actually do things that I can't even do in VR right now, and that I can't do in those other that you can't do in other realities on psychedelic trips and stuff that the other realities experience. Like what is going on here, like what is going on here that you can't do nowhere else. The grand show of planet Earth, the grand show of planet Earth, the amusement park, the grand amusement park, carnival." All the different rides you can go down. Go to the kiddies, go to the extreme, go to the freak shows that like they used to have in the past. See the wild, like what I mean, like the people growing weird things, and they used to have the bearded ladies and stuff. Just something that you wouldn't think is that you didn't experience in your normal reality. That's that's Earth. That's Earth. And sure, other realities you could do amazing things, and I still go there all the time. I send different versions of myself there all the time to go to different realities and do things. All right, reconnection successful. Why? Just disconnected. I think after a while, bandwidth makes it disconnect. Yes. Give me 1 second. Here you go. Black piece. Ooh, I've been talking for 2 hours. Like when I take a good microdose and I sit and do the show, my thoughts is just talking. Like if I want to talk, I'm just feel more clear. Like sometimes when I'm on the show and the podcast and stuff, and I'm heavily smoking, I don't have all the words to say. I'll be having the thoughts and imagination, but it don't come out the way I'll be wanting to pronounce it and stuff, or I'll just be thinking more than talking. But I'm able to switch my mind state up and get into different zones and be able to relax with it too, and learn a lot along the way. Because like I'm not going with the intention of I already know exactly what's going to happen, but that I'm just gonna have a good time. I have a good time. So thank you, like I said again, thank you all for coming through on the Psy Tai podcast. I should have. Oh, they got some new. Oh, they got some new. Oh, here it is. There we go. All right. I just had to test that out. Because reality is funny. Reality is funny. The stage we find ourselves on. And that's how sitcoms work. Like how they was able to trick a lot of people because they was always used to be filmed in front of a live studio audience. So that you can get the genuine laughs and everything. And then after a while, and still, some take pride in it and others still will just throw some in. I just think they have some where they mix it in and throw the crowd to make it say, yay, like say, or but to the person that's experiencing that reality of the show, they don't know the difference, especially if the magicians, which is the directors and the producers, play it out right, play it out perfectly. And that's how I see reality, with everything that everybody ever says. That it's all just something that is something else behind the scenes. And that what we're doing here is the stage. Is the stage where we say the who's the eyes. That's why I feel comfortable talking. I was like, this is my character on the stage. Like my character sitting there just in the corner, shy all the time and stuff like that. I was that character. And then this person confused. I was that character. And now the character talking that got the show and and do art, dad, and sometimes got to build himself up. Sometimes got to talk to other people, skate, do all those things and stuff. And but people come up and they say, "Oh, that's cool." Like I see that somebody pressing the button on the soundboard for them, but it go to them. Oh, that's cool. Or and that's one of the great comedies of reality that was that the mushroom showed to me, I would say. Is the play, is the grand stage. Oh, I'm just seeing what you wrote, Vel. You say yesterday for me I cleaned the stove for 7 hours. It had to get in them grooves, talking about what we was talking about before. Had to get in all the grooves, probably brought out the chemicals. The greasers. But yeah, the realities and where we find ourselves and the stage and how where our thoughts come from. Why do we choose to talk? These are all questions that I had on my mind. Why do I choose to talk? Why am I using these words? Why am I moving around? Why am I walking? Why am I eating? Why am I breathing? And then it was like we already got all the answers. All the answers, like, it's not real confusion. It's like to communicate, to feed, to nourish, to eat, to nourish the body. So nourish the body in the way that comes to you. Talk, communicate these feelings in the way they come to you. To have fun, to get into disagreements, to get into agreements. Like they're trying to hold out. Oh, I don't want to talk unless it's agreeable. And it's like, oh well, but I mean about not talking is like not talking. Period. Like I've been in states of still experiencing the fullness of self, but without the need of words, and then coming to a reality of inching into words and using it. Oh, I hear myself talking. Oh, I hear myself talking. Like, wow, what does this mean to that I'm hearing myself right now? Who is hearing myself? Who is doing the talking? Who is doing, which one is thinking? The one that's listening or the one that's talking? And that goes down the line. That goes down the line. And to say like how many souls and how spirits and bodies and stuff like that, and that reality in the vocal box and everything. And you hear people talking about spirits and different spirits bodies, and they don't like different people's spirits. I think these all good. It's all terminology that when the symbol of those terminology is unlocked, you can see the reality that's around you. Full of it is what it is. Angels, as they say in Christianity, demons, familiars, sprites, enchanted woods, Nephilim, succubus, succubi, vampires, trolls. They all be people too. They all be people. And that's the reality that's why around Halloween you hear people talk about inhabiting their inner spirits and stuff and dressing up as their characters. And the blurred lines. It's called Shamheim, really. Shamheim was the celebration special of the fall season, from the summer to the fall and the harvest season and everything. And it was spiritual practice by tribes in the like where the Netherlands and stuff like that, and New Zealand and everything. And they had Shamheim, and they celebrated the spirit connections, the spirit earth connection. And he said that now because of the harvest time, like you put all that spirit into growing. Now harvest time is manifested, it's here. So that blurred line of work and seeing the work in that time, because the work is in the past in this the etheric realm. So now in around Halloween, around the time with the harvest, everything is there, the blurred lines. You see in everything for what it is. So when you get into the spirits and that blurred lines and everything, that's the correlation that humans made up, and now it's become Halloween. From Halloween with the trick or treating and dressing up, as like people say monsters, or now it's even expanded because now the tradition has been able to evolve over the past couple decades, allowing people to add their own flavor to the mix. So now with Halloween, people can get a taste of what other people be saying. Hey, for me, every day is Halloween. Every day is Halloween. You know, I was one of those people too. And I was like, yo, every day is Halloween. And I didn't dress up and stuff like that, but I was real into gothic and everything. So I was all about that life. I was emo. I was just about that vibe, about that life. But I knew what I was talking about connecting with that vibe itself, of a different form of yourself, and actually presenting it instead of just, hey, I'm just this character that's like this all the time. I dress like this. I put on these clothes. No, sometimes I dress like this. Sometimes I dress like that. Sometimes like different fashions, different fashion statements, as people would say too, going on. And that's Halloween. That's the blurring lines of spirits and everything. That's the origin. If you never heard it before, you heard it on the Psy Tai podcast. Harvest season, manifesting 3D and reality and stuff. I just thought of that just now. Just thought of that. Oh no, I ain't gonna play all at the same time. Alright, yeah, let's upload some new sound effects. Every time we say something interesting, we can go like we're a radio DJ. Just time. Shouts to Velvet Wind. Shouts to Montia Sanchez. Shouts to the whole Squizard. Oh, having fun. But yeah, I'm gonna tie you on out of here. If you ain't see it before, I'm gonna show one more time the preview to the next video. I had a picture. I had a prompt where people told me, I said, give me an idea of something to create in 3D, and I'll create it live, but I decided to do it separately from the live so that I can pay more attention to it and get my hone some skills in, and then eventually be able to do stuff like this live. I have all the assets ready. But I was prompted to make an Aztec mixed with a Hindu, mixed with a Mayan temple. Egyptian temple, and then Exile threw in the Buddhist temple where it's in 2D and they create it in sand and they destroy it, but they envision it in 3D and they put their spirits there so they can experience that realm. So I took all those ideas and some of mine and put it into one, and here goes a picture render of it, so that and the animation is coming out too. It's gonna be flying all around and stuff like that. And here goes a preview. Wait, let me show one. Let me get one that's less blurry. A little less blurry. There we go. Ta-da. Have the Osiris at the bottom, Ka statue, the widget, the Horus, Shiva, or Isis, and this is Temple of Ta. It's about rebirth, being reborn, death and rebirth. Zoom in a little bit. Here got the mushroom fields and everything. Here goes another like bottom view render. Yeah, with the solid iguana. And it wraps around and stuff like that. Let me see if I can find one more picture of the top of it. And this right here, to me, see the pipes is reminiscent of my psychedelic journeys. There we go. A good picture of the top. There we go. The colorful tiles. But I'm gonna go in on it on a video when I really present it and present the animation with the sound and everything. I'm always working. I'm always Automation Studios. Always at work, trying to bring something to the table. And we'll be able to. I'm gonna make it so that we can visit this in VR too. I'm making an NFT and I'm making a VR so that you're able to walk around in it and send it out to people and be able to walk around. Imagine sitting in there in VR and just meditating, looking around and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of cool things. And make sure y'all check out the Just Time Now website as well. Just Time Now website you can find. Make sure you show y'all. Just Time Now website. Come on, load up, load up. You can find art, previous videos, where it's all broken apart in like playlists. You can find the animations, gaming videos, VR videos, podcasts, videos where I'm out in the woods, art. Check out the Just Time Now stores. Help keep the channel afloat. Or you can purchase the Tussle Tulabay, the Top Ventures of Tussle Tulabay. The second book is still going to be released. I already have it written. Just got to digitize it and everything. And I'm going to have the physical copy of the Top Ventures of Tussle Tulabay coming out soon as well. Here go to art. You can get prints or just a sticker. It's a deal if you buy 5 stickers or 3 stickers or 1 sticker. This is the ticked Mushroom Heart Space. Here go to VR videos. Check out True Life Stories, Real Talk News, King Guys, Just Tie Gaming, Automations. Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. So adios. Once again, thank y'all. Hopefully I'll see y'all in episode 141. How always.